Hello and welcome back again, everyone. So, since the last video, I went and put torches all over the building. It is now very well lit, and we don't have to worry about monsters spawning there when it gets dark. There are all kinds of torches around this building now. It's nice and bright, even all the way out here when we would walk around it is bright enough that we don't have to worry about monsters spawning. Alright, there's some other things that I've done. I've gone and I've grabbed a couple of villagers to bring into our new house that we've built for them. Building, whatever you want to call it. There was a problem that I had to solve. There are some ways to lead villagers and get them to go where you want them to go, but most of the time they just kind of go where they want to go. And one way around that is getting them in a boat, like I've shown you before when we brought them from the village to here. I've done that twice, brought 2 villagers back here. But trying to get the boat into the building is difficult. If I hop into this boat here, I bump up against this dirt here and I can't go any further. I need to get up here with this boat. There's a trick to that. You have to change elevation. There's a few things you can do, but when you take care to make sure that your canal is, the same depth all the way from point A to point B, you don't have to worry about that. Perhaps until you get to the very end and you're like, well, I want to build my building here, but the canal's down there. Well, there's a way to lift up your boat. It involves this block here. It's a piston. I'll show you how to make that block. You come here to the Redstone tab. You can find it in the big tab with everything, but it's quicker here. And to make it, you need 3 of the same kind of wood and 4 cobblestone and an iron and a redstone dust, just as it's arranged here. I've already made a couple of them, so I'm not going to make another one right now, but you can see how it's done without me actually putting it in the box. Alright, so how does that work? How does this piston work? Well, you can see, and it's sideways again, I don't want that. Let's fix that. You can slap a switch on the side of it, and you can try to turn it on the same way we turn those doors on, but as you see, as soon as it comes up, the switch pops off. That's because it's no longer a completely solid block. So you could lay it on the ground next to it, and that works. You see that piston lifts up, and anything that's on top of it also gets lifted up. So that's what we want to do with the boat. We want to get the boat up on top of that piston and lift it up. Now that can be tricky when you have something like what's going on over here and you have water all over the place. That piston's home is going to be there into the water. What happens when you try to put a piston on the side of a block in water? It just pops right off. It's a problem. Well, there's a solution to that problem. Things you can do is you can create a string of redstone dust, and that's like creating electrical wire between your switch and the block that you want to power with a signal. You notice I flip the switch, the dust starts to glow just like that switch was doing earlier, as you may recall, and it's doing right now, and the piston works. And we can get real creative. We can make it go over the block. See that line goes over the block now. We can make it go around the block. Now it's not connected currently. That's interesting that it's not connected. Normally it works a little better than that. There's a way to fix that, and I don't know what it is. Probably has to be off. Well, I don't remember how to do that. But you see, that's probably how I do it. I probably have to, oh, no, that breaks it. Interesting. As you can see, I haven't experimented with redstone dust quite that much yet. But the point is, you can get it to go around, you can have it go up and down. And the up and down is the part that matters the most to us. So that worked real nice. We can get it to go up and down, sideways. We can get this block powered coming at it from the side. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so we've got a piston down here now. Drop into this hole here. We can see the side of the piston here. Put a switch here. And then we can put some dust coming down the side here. And then right there. And even though it doesn't look like it, that dust is going up the side of the block to the switch. It doesn't look like it, but it is doing it. Clearly, because it has worked when I flip the switch. See that piston popping out. So we're going to cover that with dirt, because if it gets water on it, it will... Oops, I interrupted the circuit. If it gets water on it, you see that redstone dust popped right off, just like the switch did. Water and electricity don't mix, children. This is probably not electricity, but it functions under similar principles. So we're going to lay that redstone dust line again. There we go, it's working. Now we're going to cover it up so if something happens, it doesn't become broken. That line stays intact. I can pour water all over this, it's going to flow into there, and the switch might come off, but put the switch back and it'll work again. Alright, so you'll see that I've set up another switch right there. That'll let us go up these two steps that we need to go up to get to the doors that we've put on the side of that building. Yes, you can paddle a rowboat across the dirt. Alright, we can't take the boat through there like that. That is why we installed these switches. That will keep the signal on long enough for us to put the boat through the doors, which is what I did with the two villagers I'm about to show you. There's not really any way to... I'm gonna have to go out there and turn my pistons off. Should have done that before I came in. Gonna do that real quick. That way the next time I come by in my boat and I need to come up, I can. Now it would work the other way too. I could go back down into the canal that same way, but I can do that without any pistons. Just lay it down, hop in, paddle down. Easy peasy. All right. So we have our barracks. I'm not sure what to call this. I've brought a couple of villagers in here already. They've got some worksite blocks in here. This is a smoker, and that is what a butcher needs. That's what this guy is here. He's a butcher novice. He's got a rabbit and rabbit stew. What does the Fletcher have? The Fletcher has sticks and arrows. Sticks and arrows is good. There's 3 possible trades that a Fletcher has. One is sticks, one is arrows, and then another one is gravel to get flint. This guy has what we want. This guy does not. He's offering rabbit and emeralds. No good. We're going to have to try to see if we can get something different with him though. Now, these guys haven't been traded with ever. This is an experience bar. If you trade them something that they want, it'll start to fill up and it'll lock in those trades. They won't change if you use this trick I'm about to show you. But since these guys both have no XP at all, never accepted a trade, I can break the block and you see that he loses his job. And if I put the block back down, he gets his job back. Now he's got chicken and rabbit. That's good, but you can see that we have pork chops and chicken. That's what we want to trade. So I'm going to break this again and hope that this time he shows the trades that I want. And this time he does. Raw chicken, raw pork chop. Now if I were to break it again, it'd be something different the next time too. But I'm going to lock in that by making a trade. Now I can click on this here to automatically load up the trade, or I can put it in there myself. It's all the same. As soon as I grab this emerald, I've made a deal. What a deal. Advancement made. I learned how to trade with villagers, and now you've learned too. So we can continue to trade like that, one click at a time, or we can use one of the game's shortcuts. We can hold down the shift button and then click on the output box, and then it will do that output as many times as possible. There we go. Now that bar is filled up. He's going to gain a level. He's going to get some new trades. We watch him, and you see those purple particles came off of him, and the little badge on his belt changed from a kind of a steely gray color to a coppery color. We're going to sleep because it's nighttime. Probably shouldn't have slept yet, but you'll also see that while I'm holding the pork chop in my hand, he's holding an emerald. That lets us know that he has a trade available for what I have in my hand. Now we already knew that, but if we had 10 butchers and they had different kinds of trades, we could hold up our pork chops and say, okay, these ones will take pork chops. I'll go talk to those guys. So I'm going to go talk to this guy. We can see that he's leveled up. He's got 2 new trades. We can now buy cooked pork chops from him for an emerald. Pretty bad deal. We sell him 7 pork chops, get 1 emerald. We give him 1 emerald and get 5 cooked pork chops. But, you know, maybe we don't have anything to cook anything with. Then maybe it seems like a good deal. Alright, so now we are going to trade all of our chicken using that shift click shortcut I was talking about. Do the same thing with the pork chops. And we've traded almost everything we can. You see there's a red X there now. Even though we have more chicken, he won't trade with us. That's because he's used up all of the trades for chicken that he will do right now. Now, up to 2 times per day, if you leave them alone, they can go to their worksite block and interact with it, and then it'll refresh their trades. They can do that up to 2 times per day. They don't usually do it while you're standing there watching them because they think you are fascinating. Look at them. They can't take their eyes off of me. I am a fascinating fellow. I am clad in gleaming steel armor. You see that X is still there, but if we leave and come back in a few minutes, it probably will go to his block and refresh his trades. It looked like he was looking at his block, so let's go see if he refreshed his trades. He did refresh his trades. So now we can come back in here and trade out the rest of our chicken. And now we're good. We can do the same thing with this guy here. Sticks and arrows. Why don't we buy a few arrows and see what happens? We could use some arrows. I haven't shown you yet, but I got a bow from some skeletons that I killed earlier. Alright, now I've got some arrows, he's got some XP, those trades are locked in, they're not going to change around on me. And if I wanted to, I could go make a bunch of sticks and level them up further. Now, part of the reason I started with these two is when you level up the Fletcher, one of the things that he trades is feathers. And when you kill chickens and get their delicious meat, you also get feathers. So now I have a bunch of emeralds. And as you may have noticed, when I was buying those arrows from him, I used emeralds to do that. I should have pointed that out before I did it. But I could put those emeralds in here, and we can stockpile a whole bunch of these and use them to buy all sorts of very useful things. You see that I found a few diamonds while I was digging up all those stones to build their house with. But yeah, so I want to level up that butcher so that I can trade him all this meat, and I want to level up that Fletcher so I can trade him all the feathers. That'll help me use all of these animal products that I'm getting. These pens are full. I need to butcher these animals, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go trade their meat and other such things with that butcher and that Fletcher. I'll be left over with a few things like the leather and the wool, but there are villagers to trade those things to as well. And once I've had a chance to breed those villagers and make little baby villagers, I will get some villagers that'll trade those items too. So why don't we go ahead and just do that. Let's get that out of there. It's distracting me. Alright. Alright, so to feed or to breed villagers, we need to give them some food. It's just like when we are feeding the animals. You remember when I did that? Chickens like seeds, pigs like potatoes. These sheep and the cows, they like wheat. Well, villagers like a few different kinds of things, but the thing that seems the most efficient to me is they like bread. And it takes 3 bread to each villager. They both have 3 bread in their inventory, And if there's an open bed in the village, and anything inside of this building is going to be considered part of a village. So I'm going to put that there, open that trap door. Alright, now I'm going to try and give bread to one of them. Worked. And now I'm going to try and give bread to the other one. This will be a little trickier. Don't want Fletcher to pick it up. I picked it up. How wonderful. Well, it's better than the Fletcher picking it up. I can try again. The Fletcher picked it up. Alright, so we're going to have to go try and make some more. This is sometimes a little tricky. Now, when the villagers breed, it's going to clear their entire inventory, which is why we're trying to make sure that all of it goes to the same villager. Or I should say, it doesn't all go to the same villager. That 3 goes to each of the villagers. But this is the price we pay to have an army of villagers ready to trade with us. It's the one problem with making this room so small. It's pretty hard to make sure that the right one gets. I didn't even see which one got it. I think the Fletcher got it. I might have to do something tricky. Alright, this is what we're going to do. Put that boat down. There. Now while I'm away making more bread, they should end up in that boat. And that'll make it simpler to get the bread to the right villager. Luckily I have plenty of wheat. I can afford to make a few mistakes. I still have wheat in my inventory. Alright. Now we can force the right villager to get it. Oops. That one's for you, butcher. Alright, now they've both got bread. Break that boat carefully, we don't want to hit them. And look, they're happy. They're happy. And oh, there's a baby villager. Can't see him very well, he's sitting inside of the other villager. Now in a little bit, this baby villager is going to go look for a bed of his own. Right now he seems to be happy to talk to us and talk to his parents, but in a minute he should go to his bed because it's almost nighttime. Oh, it looks like he has picked that bed as his bed. That's not acceptable. That bed was already assigned to the Fletcher. Go find your own bed. I might have to break the bed to force him to go to the other bed. I was hoping to not have to do that. He's not moving. Despite the fact that is a 1 block tall gap, he's not going through it. I was afraid that might happen. That means all these trapdoors I just laid were for naught. Go ahead, little guy, get out of here. He thinks he can walk through there, but he's not able to walk through for some reason. There we go. That works. We'll just have to do it that way. Huh. This is the first time I've tested this. Didn't realize it wasn't going to work. Well, there's more than one way to fix this little problem. Go on through. Now, I guess these doggy doors are one way only. It's mildly inconvenient, but they only have to use them once or twice. So, and it's full on night. There are probably zombies everywhere. Crawl into bed and hope that we don't get jumped by skeletons and other critters while we're sleeping. Alright, so some minor hiccups, but as you can see, that's how it's going to work. Zombies everywhere. Alright, so now we have zombie villager here in his room. He's jumping on his bed. Oh, what fun. And another, well, it takes 20 minutes total, so in another 18 minutes or so, he'll grow up and be an adult. And then he'll be able to get a job like these other villagers, and we'll be able to get trades with him. So between now and the next video, I'm going to breed some more villagers, take care of some of our basic trading needs. Probably get some farmers maybe. More importantly, I'm going to try and get some villagers that will be able to get tools and weapons and stuff like that from. Oh look, there's an Enderman. It's the first one I've seen in this game. Maybe the second one. Yeah, it's the second one I've seen in this game. Come on back here. I want your pearls. Maybe. He didn't have any pearls. That's okay. The other one dropped a pearl. Alright, well, that's more than enough for this video. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. See you again next time.